Welcome to another edition of Special Situations Investing with Greg. This week I will talk about my Post Mortem for IVT and BOX. I spent some time on both of those. They both had tender offers earlier this year, and I finally have completed all of my transactions with them, so check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of my YouTube channel on Special Situations Investing and my personal investing practice. As a quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. Any companies that I mention in this presentation are discussed solely for illustrative purposes. Discussing such companies and the specifics about them is to help educate me and educate you about certain special situations. It is not a solicitation to purchase them. I recommend that you conduct your own research and identify why you might want to own the company yourself prior to your committing of any funds. I also recommend that you seek the services of a financial advisor that has considered your personal situation as your fiduciary. And then finally, may your education here grow your knowledge, improve your personal investing performance, and give you the confidence to take control of your future. Thanks a bunch for watching. Now on to the video. Alright, investing mutants. So if you haven't seen the two videos that I did on IVT and Inventrust and BOX, I will make sure that there is a link here at the beginning and you can take a look at them. But I did finally complete these two transactions. What happened is I didn't participate per se as much in the tender offer with these, and more just kind of did some options contracts on the shares that I either had or the shares that were outstanding after participation in the tender offer. So I'll start and talk about Inventrust first, and then I'll spend some time talking about BOX. With Inventrust, back in October, I think it was about the 22nd or so, I went ahead and purchased some shares in the company with the anticipation that I would participate in the tender offer, and I did. I got almost about half of my shares were sold in the tender offer, and I then had about half that I went ahead and started selling calls on and buying puts on the shares. And what I ended up doing is then I just rolled that over until either it went too high or too low, and then sold out of the position. In this case, it went above what my call was at, and so I was forced out of the position. And I went ahead and just let it go like that. It turned out that all the activity that I did with the options was actually not very good for what I did. My sale price was incorrect when I sold the call, and my purchase price was incorrect when I bought the put. And so there was something that was going on with my transaction on that basically I got charged more than what I wanted in order to get into that collar, and it lowered my return by about 0.5%. Overall, I only earned about 1% over, it was 0.8% in fact, over the 60 days that I was in this transaction. So no loss, but definitely not the type of return that I would prefer to have had, or at least should have had if I had that set up. So that's definitely a lesson learned, and one of the problems sometimes when you're participating in the markets with options is you don't always get the correct buy and sell ratios that you want. For those of you that crunch numbers, that options contract that went bad put my average entry price at $25.86. I actually tried to get into it at around $24.50, so this definitely would have improved my returns overall if I had not participated in that options contract and had that happen. My average sale price, however, was $26.06, so that nice tidy return of 0.8%. So yeah, Inventrust, it was kind of a wash. On to the BOX transaction. So the BOX transaction, my original video was back in April, around April 20th of this year, and I went ahead and participated in it in the tender offer. But instead of participating in the tender offer and then just selling out the shares, I went ahead and kept the shares and sold calls and bought puts on them over the last 8 months essentially. And as I went through this, that I dug into the numbers a little bit, and about half of my returns came from the options sale and put purchases, and the difference between those. And so this is I'm thinking about this collar position. This is kind of me just kind of testing the waters to see if it's a worthy strategy or anything like that. In reality, I think it kind of could be, because I had estimated that the original transaction would have been about 14%, and the total return that I received on that was just over 21% at 21.39. My entry price was an average of about 22.89 a share, and my average sale price turned out to be 27.79 a share. And so, and that includes all of the transactions for the sold calls and purchased puts. So yeah, that one did pretty well over the time. It's not quite as high as I would like it to be over my tenure, throughout the year. I'd like to be able to buy these and then get out and get into higher return positions. And next week I'll probably talk about just my overall lesson learned for the year and what I expect to do over the next little while. But anyway, I thought I'd give you a quick little post-mortem on these two transactions, a couple of lessons learned. I think that the collar strategy is good if you didn't get to sell out at the price that you want, and you have enough buffer that you can sell the options contracts and buy the puts to secure as an insurance policy over that time. I think it's a pretty good setup, but sometimes it doesn't always work out like it did with the Inventrust. Anyway, thanks a bunch, guys. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season this year. And for those of you that are Christian, Merry Christmas. For those of you that have other religious beliefs, I hope that you have a wonderful time, and I will catch you next week. Thanks a bunch.